Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to Apostolic Children's Ministry Podcast. And we have a lot of people again. This is our third consecutive week of podcast. Super excited about that. But we're really excited to have a celebrity in the room. Delaney, right there. No, I'm messing with her, but it has been a while since you've been on the podcast. So we're excited that you're here. We go quite a bit around the nation, and your name comes up a lot. About she's like, who's that girl that's like really like wild and outgoing in your class? So in a very positive way, they really like you.
First,
they like you.
He's like sometimes.
So let's go around the room real quick. I am of course Philip. This is
Trystan, Delaney,
Bree, Sarah,
and Brother Danny.
All right, so we got a mess of us. I am going to take a picture while I'm thinking of it because every time I do this, I'm so happy later that I actually remembered. And I think Delaney's going to eat while we're
You hear little crackling noises. That's Delaney eating cookies.
Yes, and making everybody else jealous.
It's like ASMR.
Like Jesus.
As we say many times, we are not experts at children's ministry, but we're very passionate about it. We do love it. In fact, can I just say just something that just I was thinking more about, especially tonight. I don't know why, but people that are that like are so confident in what they do sometimes. The older I get, the more that bugs me. It's like their way is the only way. And it's like there seems to be like in every method of teaching and every way of doing outreach and there's so many options and things that work. And I'll go someplace and I'm like, I have never thought of that. And it works really well for them. And it might work for us, I don't know. But it's just interesting that there's so many ways to do everything.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So when we say that we do something a certain way, there are a million ways to do it.
Right.
As long as it's effective, who cares how you do it?
Right.
So this is just one perspective. So anyway, I don't know why I said all that, but it just I want you guys to understand our perspective on what we're saying.
Yes.
This is not.
It's not one way or the highway.
No, and many times our way is definitely not the right way. We've learned that. So
We
teach us the right
tell you how
way.
not to do it.
We tell you the mistakes, the good things, and the bad
Learn
things.
through us.
Yes, both positive and negative. So yeah, we're super excited about Delaney being here, but she has not been in our super class for how long now?
I think since April.
Since April. She's still heavily involved in Sunday school, bus ministry, but she has been helping with our teen girls class.
Yep.
And why don't you just kind of tell us a little bit about how that, I guess, took place, happened, and you're, or maybe not, I don't know, maybe it just happened. And then you kind of what your class looks like, because it doesn't look like ours, and that's totally cool. In fact, if it did, it'd be weird.
It would be weird. Yes.
Yeah, so I started feeling a little bit of a burden for our youth girls probably about a year ago, and it took me a bit of time to actually look into what that would look like because I was really scared of them. But fast forward to probably February or March of this year, and I found out that one of our teachers was teaching the youth girls class by herself and was very much pregnant and needing a little bit of assistance. And I was like, maybe this is why I was feeling what I was feeling. Mm-hmm. So I switched over, just started with small stuff like bringing snack. I made us a class playlist for the girls to come into, and we play when we're just hanging out and talking at the end of class. What it looks like right now is we just cycle in ladies from our church to come in and teach different little lessons. So while we have consistent teachers that are there to facilitate the lessons, we have different people coming in, new faces all the time, like Sister Kim Moore, Sister Valerie Barrier taught a couple weeks ago, and then Amanda Thomas is teaching this upcoming Sunday. She's one of our college and career girls. So it's really exciting. And this past Sunday, we've been having to combine a lot with the youth boys class because of, our main teacher, having a baby thing going on. But so we had to combine with the youth boys class, and one of our daughter work pastors, Brother Caleb Dillon, came and taught. And one of his games, he's always an inspiration when he gets up there and teaches our young people because he's just captivating. For his game, he had the boys tape rubber chickens.
Yeah, my rubber chickens.
Your rubber chickens?
And he promised to pay him back if he messed them up.
I don't think they got
I have
messed
not
up.
seen them yet, so I hope they're okay.
However, Landry was one of the ones with chickens on his
They're
feet.
like my kids.
I'm
My
aware.
squeaky pink kids.
You are
in
squeaky
yellow.
pink.
Do you really do appreciate
Tristan
us
is
that much,
jealous.
though?
It's kind of like Trystan, squeaky pink.
She said, I had no idea that's how you felt about
I'm sorry.
To get back on track.
Back on track.
I didn't know
Yeah.
I was that important.
To get back on track, the boys taped rubber chickens to their feet and had to try and sneak through the room to try and get to a Bible. And then there was a boy trying to hit them with ping pong balls, but he was blindfolded. It was a lot of fun. I was in hysterics the whole time, but it's a really fun time, and they aren't as scary as I thought they'd be.
So when you told me that you were looking at helping with that class, of course, a huge part of us was, no, Delaney, you're such an essential part of our class. You've just done an incredible
I wish
job.
I could be both places.
Yes, but I look around our class and I see the talent that God's given us from, top to bottom. It's stacked. Mm-hmm. It's too stacked. Like it's so much talent that it's ridiculous. So I didn't know when it was going to happen, but it couldn't stay like that forever. It's not even right. So the fact that you're doing that and anyway, I think God will probably continue to do that. And there's going to be more people moving in. In fact, we just have, Erica Toronto is helping us now. Brother Danny's third oldest child. And she's phenomenal. Like, she's
amazing.
Incredible. How old is she? 18?
She's going to be 18.
And she is like so she fits in so well. She is just a rock star at action songs. So between her and then Ruben Nomelli just told us that he's helping officially as of today.
Oh, sweet.
So God just keeps cycling them in, and it's really cool to see. Delaney, you're helping youth class, and you're going to be helping elsewhere. It's neat. It really is. It's a good thing, and I wish you were in our class, but we get it. So we have a lot of stuff going, and oh my goodness, I meant to say this right off the bat. If you are a previous subscriber of this podcast, please take a second and search for Apostolic Children's Ministry, and you'll see a new podcast called Apostolic Children's Ministry 2.0. Please subscribe to that one, because the other one eventually is going to go away. And right now I'm sustaining both because, anyway, I had to get a new hosting service. But eventually, if you keep only subscribe to the other one, you won't see anything new. So like this one will be posted on both, but I don't know how long we're going to continue to do that. So go 2.0, and it's on everywhere: Spotify, Apple, Google, Samsung, every podcast platform. Sorry. Okay.
Done.
Yeah. Huh?
Plug done.
Plug. I'm not plugging nothing. I'm just telling you that this one's going to disappear soon. So go to the other one. Yeah. So we have a Kingdom Kids coming up. Of course, we mentioned that last time, and it's coming up in just we're leaving
2 days.
2 days from now.
Yeah.
And then anyway, it's going to be a neat event. But the reason I brought it up is we have a chat for Kingdom Kids Conference 2023, and we're sharing a bunch of fun, neat ideas. Well, some of the people that aren't going this year were a little left out of the chat. Like, hey, we would like to know what's going on. And so they started posting in the 2022 chat, last year's chat.
Aww.
So now we had 2 chats going on. And I thought, I've actually thought to do this previously but never did it, is creating a master chat, like a big chat of everybody in children's ministry that I know that is apostolic, and put them in one master WhatsApp chat, if they have WhatsApp. And the idea is to share testimonies, cool things that have happened, and of course there's going to be a lot of silliness. We know that. In fact, there's a lot. I'm hoping eventually it'll settle down and we'll kind of get in the groove of testimonies. But we understand people are going to leave it, mute it. We don't care. It's just if you had something neat that happened at your church, share it with us.
Yeah.
A neat idea, a neat lesson, a neat way to decorate something. So if you want to be involved in that, install WhatsApp and info@apostolicsundaySchool.com. Shoot me over your phone number and we will add you to the chat. Cool. Well, should we talk about last week?
Sure.
Now, I know, Delaney, you weren't in our class last week, but you're still welcome to chip in on any of this. Obviously, you know that. But last week, we talked about Joseph, the story of Joseph and his dreams. So, Sister Bree, you were responsible in large part for helping to schedule that out. And you actually were doing the offering prayer request that day. I don't know if you got back in time, though, did you?
No.
No. Hey, can we talk about bus ministry real quick? Like our pickups and stuff?
Yes.
Because this is exciting. Like, it's always so neat when you knock on someone's door, they say, yes, I want to come, and then they come.
Yes.
And it seldom happens that quick. But on Saturday, we went on outreach. I talked to this lady. Her name was Brenda. And should I say that out loud? Yeah, I can say that about adults. It's the kids we try to leave their names out. And she said, yes, my kids want to come. Like before I could almost even invite her. Like it was that quick.
Wow.
I was like, you... So with the bus, right? She's like, yes, I want to come. I said, okay, well, here's the permission slip. I sent it to her, an electronic one that we have started using. Well, she never filled it out.
Oh.
And so the next morning, I'm like, I hope she's coming. So I knock on the door. Kids come up there, dressed, ready to roll. Wow. So I knew they were coming, and I asked her. I said, hey, I never got the permission slip. She goes, oh, I never got it. I never got a text. So she filled it out right then.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, the kids were ready. They came,
so cool.
seemed to have a great time. So we'll see if they come this week.
so
But it's just
sweet.
Brother James Wang said it's like a little mini miracle when people let their kids go with you, and you've never even seen these people before. Like that really is.
Yes.
And this family is not someone that's like trying to get rid of their kids. Like they're not. Like they take care of kids. And it was just a neat deal that we just hit the right place, the right time.
Willing, yeah.
And it's the same street we've hit for 15 years, and there's always new faces behind doors. And you can never know everybody on the street. It's a revolving door in some of these places. So
cool.
I was just so excited. And they came, we had 25 on our bus on Saturday or Sunday. So that was awesome.
Nice.
And Bree, how many did you guys have?
I think we had 26.
I had to one up it. 25.1.
No, we were that one kid. We had 27.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
And we took home the other guys.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah. And then we had other people join the bus at the same time. So it was like 29.
Okay, Bree, you win. No, Bree has an awesome route from Orange Route. And I think we picked up 25, 26. I don't know what the others picked. I never saw the final number. I didn't.
Red had 8.
8. Okay.
9.
So, bus ministry is up and down thing. One Sunday you'll pick up 25. The next day you'll pick up 9. And it's just like you can't wrap your head around it. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
It's true.
And if you live or die by a number, you're gonna be constantly depressed.
Constantly dying.
Constantly dying. Yes. So yeah, we celebrate good numbers. We're motivated by poor numbers, but we don't make that our sole motivation. I mean, that would just be horrific.
The souls are our motivation.
Yeah. So bus ministry was awesome. Sister Laura drove, so I didn't have to drive, Brother Danny. I was able to roam the bus. She's saying
I've been
that
fasting and praying about this.
because she doesn't like my driving. Rude.
I'm joking, but seriously.
So rude. So rude. And what's bad is Sister Laura didn't know our route. And so we just abandoned her at the front of the bus, and we're all having fun with the rest of the route. And so every now and then she'd like stop and just like this panic look. She'd be like, I don't know where I'm going. Like, right.
So,
yeah, I had to keep running up to the front of the bus. But it was so much fun being able to connect with kids during the trip, because normally it's like at stops I can get up and interact with them. But man, when you're not driving, that's why I like buses. I mean, vans are cool. But you can't move around in a van.
That's true.
And there's no aisle, and you can't get to the kids at the back. And if someone's, I love having a bus. I love having
You
a bus.
also can't put balloons in the front of the van.
What?
Yeah, remember when you put balloons in the front of the...
Oh, that was cool. We put them on the windshield wipers and on the bumpers and on the... Yeah, we decorated the whole bus. Did you see
really
that monkey by week 2?
It was still there?
Kind of. It looked like a little shriveled raisin of it. Sorry. So, bus ministry was really cool. And then we had Sunday school, and we talked about Joseph. And so let's start with our intro and rules. Brother Danny, what'd you do?
So the creative intro.
Real quick. So the reason we recap this... No. Delaney is looking at me like with laser beams out of her eyeballs. I'm sorry, Danny.
Tell me my eyes are closed.
I did
Her
not
eyes are
mean
closed.
to interrupt.
I did not look at him.
It's been since February since we have done a podcast, except for the last couple. And I just want to explain why we're even doing these recaps. The idea is that we want to kind of tell you where we got the ideas from, how we came up with the lesson, because we don't have a strict curriculum we use. So we have a topic that we assign to everybody. We have segments that we piece out, schedule out. So Danny was assigned the intro, create the rules, the weekly challenge, etc. And now he has to find a creative way to tie that into the lesson. And everybody has that piece. And so we're trying to explain to the people on the podcast. Don't be stirring up like that. You guys are all mean.
I just feel like this is that one lesson where you're like, tell me your name, stop. Tell me your middle name, stop. This is what that feels like.
I wish I had a cricket sound effect right now because I have no idea the context of that statement.
Cricket from outside
Keep
real quick.
stopping people.
No, I'm not stopping people. Anyway, Brother Danny, let's go back to that. I'm so sorry. And I won't say anything anymore.
So, for the creative intro, what I did, it just came out of my head. Actually, the Bible, not me, not my head. So, what I did was I had one of the kids, I had him come and help me with a teacher. So the teacher, Keith, was the older brother, and I had one of the kids come. I don't know if we could say their names, but anyway, so he came and helped me, and Keith...
You can, but I can't. I can't talk.
Anyways, I had... so Keith was upset because the little boy had a dream that he was going to be the boss of them and have the company and he was going to work under him and stuff like that, kind of like Joseph. And so instead of a coat, after all that, he came out twice and I was like, you're my favorite son, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I have a colorful, what do you call those things? Aprons, yes. I had a colorful apron for him instead of a coat. That's the only thing we had in the back, so that's what I used. And
it was colorful.
It was really colorful. And the rules, it was basic rules, nothing fancy. I just did normal rules.
So he introduced the topic of Joseph in a creative, fun way, which is exactly the reason. And you quit looking at me like that, young lady. You both are rude.
And so that was the way I introduced the class for the creative intro. The weekly challenge, we did have quite a bit because it was for the kids who came with 3 or more colors. Go ahead, brother.
Everybody had 3 or more colors. It's a problem. And so they were like, "Look at my shoelaces.
Yeah,
they have gray on them."
And so I was going for like a shirt and pants, or the girls had like a top and a skirt or a colorful dress. Because kids were like, "My socks are 3 colors," and I'm like, no, we're not doing socks. So I kept it pretty basic. I don't know how many we had. We had a whole bunch.
Like all of them.
Yeah, we had a whole bunch. And you know what? I didn't even tell them what the next one was. I totally forgot.
What is the next one?
To be announced.
I have no idea.
Stay tuned.
Bring your Bible.
The Super Kid of the Week. They didn't even tell me who the Super Kid of the Week was. I didn't.
You pick it. You're supposed to pick it.
I was.
Yeah. So we haven't made this clear, but you're supposed to be the one picking it.
It was unclear. It's okay. We're all learning. This is still a relatively new-ish.
Yeah.
So the idea of Tiny Super Kid is we're trying to reward a kid that's behaving better than last week. And so whoever is assigned that is the one that's picking that person. So.
And I totally forgot. And so I didn't get.
No, you didn't know. So this is just part of our. This is our don't do as we do as we learn.
Yes.
Do as we figure life out. Sort of thing. And then we had Natalia doing the Plan of Salvation chant, which we do every week. And by the way, I posted that today, or it was yesterday on YouTube. The Apostolic chant, for those who have been wanting a video of it, we just posted it. And Bree and Delaney are both in it. And you're both mocking me in that video like you are right now.
Just know.
Yes.
At least we're true to form.
Yeah.
They are not hypocrites. They are not.
Yeah, we don't believe in that.
So the Apostolic chant is just so the kids know every week who we are, what we are. If they only come one week or if they come, for 6 years straight, they're going to know exactly who we are.
I have a little bit to add about Natalia's. So we always talk about preparation, right? She literally started Monday night during youth prayer. Right after youth prayer. We're sitting there hanging out, playing games. It was a lot of fun. I think it might have been after our youth bash. And she's over there translating the entire apostolic chant into Dutch, like translating it back, making sure it makes sense, listening to it 1,000 times to make sure she gets the pronunciations right. And she literally started the day after Sunday school and prepped that whole week to do a really cool.
And she
That's
killed it. It was so good.
Yeah, she got done. I was like, what?
So the idea was she would say the initial line. So the apostolic chant is repent, be baptized in Jesus' name. The kids yell it back to us. But her line that she said to the kids was in Dutch, which meant they had to know it.
They had to interpret
they
it.
had to,
technically,
yeah.
but they didn't know.
That's
And
so cool.
you could hear like little notes of like, oh, that sounds familiar. Like you can tell in every line, except for some of them that were so different, it was hilarious, and we all just kept losing it.
Like the book
Like
of Acts.
the book of Acts.
Handerlingen or something like that.
Yeah, linger-dinging and whatever. And every time I couldn't even repeat it back. I was just snorting. Yeah. We're saved just like in the book of Lingen, whatever it was. It was really funny.
My favorite book.
But she did a fabulous job, and the kids seemed to really get a kick out of it. And the second time she did it, I think she actually forgot one of the lines, which made me so happy because she like never forgets anything. Of course, it only took her like 1 second to remember it again, but still.
So impressed.
No, but Natalia, fabulous job. That was really good.
I wish I had come up with that idea. I'm very jealous.
I could have came up with the idea. I just couldn't have executed. There ain't no way I'm memorizing that in Dutch, or I could fake it.
I can barely remember that in English.
You already did. Lingen. That was.
That's what it sounded like to my untrained ear.
I love it.
Then we did the action song, and man, we went wildly old school here. We went back to the basics. So we had a 5-minute segment.
Yes.
Thank you for
I think it was like
4 minutes.
4 minutes, yeah.
But I had 2 songs, each of which were 1 minute 30 seconds. So I cheated and did 2 in that spot. We did the Holy Pokey. And if you haven't heard that, it's basically the hokey pokey with spiritual influence.
Of course.
Put your hand in, your hand out, raise your hands together, turn your life around. That's what it's all
I
about.
think I was after that.
Powerful.
I thought it was give your life to Jesus and he'll turn your life around.
No.
Oh, I have a different holy pokey then. Okay. I should have learned this.
I hope we have the same Holy Ghost stuff.
We do. I would hope.
Same holy, different pokey.
And then the other one we did is on a day like this, and I've heard different versions of that as well. On a day like this, clap, clap, on a day like this. And then we sing that on the bus, and then we sing it in class. By the way, do you remember, was it 2 weeks ago when we did the Old Apostolic song? Mm-hmm. We did Leaning on the Everlasting Arms. By the way, if you're wondering what that is, we teach old songs in class because I get frustrated because we don't sing them enough in church, and so, hey, we'll teach them to the kids. And so tonight I sang it as a worship song
so cool.
in service, hoping that the kids would be like,
I know that.
we just learned. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I know that. I know that. I don't know if it worked or not. I haven't talked to any of them, but hopefully it did.
I didn't talk to you.
So that was our old
I
throwback
did none of them.
songs. And then we did the mini object lessons. Sister Leah Thomas.
It was so
It was awesome.
Tell us about it.
Yeah.
Sarah, this is Sarah Toronto about to talk. By the way, Sarah hasn't been here in a long time either.
Very long time.
It's been a while.
We always hear really good things about you everywhere we go. People are just
Oh, no.
all the time.
She did it with where she had one of the kids come up and
Dawson got a lot of use.
Yes.
That poor kid, he got yanked into
Oh,
everything.
he loves it though.
He wore the apron and he did this.
oh, it's Dawson who did
Yeah.
yours. Oh, okay. And she had this little Bible in it when she opened, or this little book. I don't say it was Bible, but it was a book.
It was a Bible.
Oh, okay, it was a Bible.
It was my Bible that I bought on Instagram. One of those promo, the promo deals. You're never supposed to buy stuff on social media, but I saw it. I'm like, that is awesome. And I bought it probably 5 years
Were you talking about
ago.
the little light one?
Yeah, it's so cute.
The fiery one.
Like 5 years ago. And it's been sitting on my shelf. I've never used it in class one time.
Oh, wow.
Not once. And I saw Sister Leia trying to make a light Bible. And so I said, hey, I have one. So I ran and got it and gave it to her and she used it. Sorry. Go ahead.
And so when she would talk about how we sometimes have to walk in life blind, like how Joseph, he got sold by his brothers and he didn't know what was going to happen, and so he's walking blind. But then, like, God gives us the light, direct us, and she opened a little Bible, and it was like a little lamp, and it was lit up.
So it's not a fire Bible. It's one that you open and like I don't know how to explain it. Like the
Like a
pages.
paper lantern.
Like a paper lantern.
Yeah, and it's illuminated from the inside. I don't know why the batteries are still working. I've had it for like 5 years.
You've never changed the
Probably
batteries?
'cause-
No, I don't know how to change the
I don't
batteries.
think it has batteries.
What do you think it works by? A solar Bible?
Solar Bible.
There's a little hamster in there on a wheel.
Power of God. Yeah.
Exactly.
It is the light. He's the light of the world. So why can we not be the light
Lamp
of the
unto
world?
our feet. All that.
When it goes out, I'm gonna have you pray for it.
Okay.
We will all
I
gather
don't want to
around.
sing
We
something.
will.
Okay. Anyway, then we had the game giveaway that teaches Bob Lee and Erica Torado, our new teacher, and man, she cheated. Boy, did she didn't cheat. Bob did.
Yes,
Yeah.
Brother Lee did.
So what, tell us, Danny.
So they were doing the cup stacking game that we have. So he picked 2 boys, and I guess it was 2 boys, and Erica on the. And so they had a race against Erica. So the boys thought, "Oh, we need to hurry up and do it," and just they sped through it like normal. But at the end, Erica ended up winning, even though the boys had already won. So what that was is like showing favor, like.
The boys were
Joseph.
faster, better, completed first, and somehow Erica finished last and won.
Yes, because Brother Lee was favoring her, just like Joseph was favoring, or Isaac was favoring Joseph.
Jacob.
Or Jacob. Yeah, was favoring Joseph on that. And anyway, so that was the game. And so he did that a couple of times, and so that was
The kids were getting really ticked off.
They
There was a
were
little girl
really
next to
mad.
me. She was so mad. She said, she got my
She stood
attention.
up.
Oh,
Yeah.
she was mad.
Yeah.
And she said, he's cheating. This is not okay. And so I had to tell Brother Lee that because she was not going to drop it.
Yeah.
So we did have to, call foul.
I would have done the same thing, to be
Yeah.
honest.
And of course, we use that to teach about how Joseph's brothers probably were pretty ticked off.
Yeah.
You know, if my dad were to just like randomly start giving Larry special colored coats and saying you're the chosen one, that, you know, we would try. I hope we wouldn't say too much, but inside you'd be like,
Hopefully you wouldn't
what's
stop
going
him
on?
slavery.
Like it's a little weird.
Hopefully you want to sell him.
Hopefully I wouldn't kill him and throw him in a pit.
Yeah. But
I
like,
tried to kill him.
yeah.
And then we did the skit, and that was Brother Julian, and it was you and you.
Julia did such a good job picking this kid. It was pretty cool. So what we did, it was 2 of us, and we basically went through the story of Joseph, kind of like Sparks Notes version. So we narrated and
The
also
what?
Sparks.
What's that?
Like short, it's like a summary.
like a summary.
Yeah, they summarize books
Oh,
and stuff.
I never heard about it. Sorry.
I never heard that either.
Oh, it's like
Well,
Must be new.
I'm dumb.
Use
Yeah.
it to
It's a
study.
college kid thing. Even.
Yeah.
Probably is. Seriously.
Wait, I'm in
No,
college.
it is 100%.
I'll show you Spark Notes.
I think someone just told me I'm old. That's why I didn't know.
I said none of
That's
those words.
No, she did. We have someone that's not even
said,
in
"It's
the
not college,
podcast
you're
calling me old. Rude. Sorry.
So we went throughout the story narrating like key parts of the story of Joseph. And then when the key parts came up, we kind of switched into our character roles, and we had different hats and like one-piece costumes that we used to kind of play out that scene. So we went back and forth, and kind of just we went over, how Joseph got the coat, how he got sold into slavery, how he ended up going into jail, and then how he ended up saving his family from the famine and things like that. It seemed like the kids liked how we did that and things like that, but Julian did a really great job at picking it. So, inspired from YouTube.
Perfect. So we're in a period of telling Bible stories, and then we're doing lessons learned from the Bible stories. The inspiration for this was years ago. We actually told the story of Balaam and the donkey, which to me was like every kid has ever existed has known that story. And a kid that has been raised in church after class came up and said, that story's not really in the Bible, is it? And I said, you are kidding, right? He had never heard the story of Balaam and the talking donkey, ever.
Oh,
And I realized even kids that are raised in church
Haven't gotten that yet.
It's sad. I don't know
Logan,
how.
wasn't it?
Wasn't my kid. May not have this. When we grew up, we listened to a lot of those Bible stories in various forms. I know Odyssey retells them, but we had the dramatized Bible stories, and so we knew every story in existence. The fact that a kid couldn't know that or didn't know it just blew my mind. So we figured, hey, we'll try to help the parents out, which we'll talk about later, and teach the Bible stories in class, and they can reinforce it at home. So. And then we did another actions. Oh, no, create a memory verse. That was you, Sarah. What did you do?
So I took the verse, which was Acts 4:12, and
That was really hard.
I thought it was going to be easy, but it was a fail.
It was not a fail. We failed. We couldn't do it.
I kind of did the same thing with on a day like this, like the snap, snap, clap, clap, stomp, stomp, but I added it to I cut the verse in different phrases. So it'd be like, neither is there salvation, and then you go snap, snap. But it ended up being too hard, and so then we just started quoting. We started quoting the verse
I'm not
instead,
coordinated at all.
and so then we just quoted all together instead of doing the motions because kids were getting upset at me.
I know I haven't been on, but have you explained how Superclass does memory verses, where we split it up?
Go ahead. Hey, it's been a while.
So we don't have a new memory verse every single week because Brother Philip said that we realized people, the kids would go home, forget it. And so we decided to take 4 weeks to devote to one verse. And so even though this verse might not have had much to do with the story of Joseph, we still keep it for a month and then switch it out.
Yeah, and hopefully by doing it 4 different weeks and 4 different methods of teaching, surely we've communicated. If the kids have been there all 4 weeks.
I know when I was in class, by the 4th week, they were teaching the teacher essentially. It was great.
Yeah, that's exactly the point. By the way, Danny, we need another Farmer John.
Oh,
We're going to get
so good.
coming back and singing a verse. Oh,
Yes.
okay. He's got to sing some more verses. He can mow them down.
It's been a while since I did that.
Yes, time to come back.
And then we did the final song, which is In Jesus' Name. And that's a really long song. It's 7 minutes, though. Too long. And I only had 4. So at the end, I had Danny just kill it. And we did a cappella with the kids just screaming it because they love that song. They know it so well that without music, they're still really, really loud. It's awesome. So we just sang it a couple times and tried to end it a little bit early. Then we went to the final lesson. That was Sarah. And anybody want to cover that?
Sister Sarah Booker, by the way. Not Sarah.
Oh, yeah.
Sarah's
We have options here.
Sarah T, Sarah B. We got several.
That's true.
So she basically talked about problems.
Yes.
And how they can have multiple. We can react in multiple ways to them. She talked about diamonds, and she went through diamond mines and about how beautiful they are and how valuable they are, and then talked about how they're created and how they're created from pressure. They're created out of bad circumstances. They're created and shot out of the ground, typically during a volcano or some other pretty gnarly eruption. Went on and on about how that could never happen, that beauty couldn't be created unless there was some problems, and how Joseph went through a lot. We go through a lot. Sometimes it feels like it's not even fair, but those consequences, or the consequences of those actions, are if we react properly, God can turn us into something valuable and make those problems actually be a benefit. So it was pretty good. It was really good, actually. She had pictures on the screens, which is cool.
And she did oysters and
Pearls,
pearls.
Yeah, and oysters are so gross. They just look gross.
oysters aren't.
I can never forget when I tasted one. They were so filthy.
I tasted one too. It was disgusting. I didn't know you had to eat it all at once, so I bit into it. It was disgusting.
Horrible.
It's like mayonnaise.
Yeah. No. Okay. No.
Anyway, sorry. Wrong topic there.
So one thing that we're going to start doing is starting on the 21st of September? Is that the date for the first training?
20.
It don't matter because we're not necessarily telling you guys to come. We're just starting a monthly training for our ILC Sunday School, and it's pretty optional, meaning come if you can. If you don't, there's no guilt about it, but we are going to record it. It would be cool if you watched it. The idea is that every month we put out something, hopefully to get our teachers, ourselves, to just get better at something. So it'd be really cool. I was thinking how awesome would it be Sarah, next month we're talking about skits, how to come up with ideas, different methods of doing them, and that's going to be your baby. You're going to talk for 15 minutes on that. So go and do all the research for all the rest of us, and come and present it to us. And then, Brother Danny, you go do it on action songs or puppet shows or something, and then you're presenting it to us, not as if you're the expert and this is the only way to do it, but hey, I just did a lot of research on this. I'm full of ideas, and I want to share them with you guys, which I think is
Sounds
awesome.
like a mini children's workshop.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. But it's going to be an hour, a strict hour. It will never go more than an hour. Like at 60 minutes, we're out, because I don't want anybody to not come because we keep
Mid-sentence,
dragging
you're
it out.
done.
Yeah.
The hook comes out.
It may not be that hardcore,
They just have like a hook and they just.
but we are going to try to be careful. Yeah, the shepherd's crook.
The air horn comes out.
Yeah, just drowns out everything else you say. Just,
Exactly.
Maybe Benson the bot.
Yes. Good old
Just sets
Benson.
off an alarm as soon as it counts down to 0.
We have a timer on the computer, and it tells you when your segment's up, and it starts turning red, the letters.
We don't need it. We are always very
Yeah,
much
of
on
course.
time.
Yeah.
On time.
I think honestly,
we don't-
we should.
Maybe in your new class? Have you forgotten?
There
So
should be
clearly.
been
I
so
think we
long.
have clearly presented how much we need.
Oh.
That clock.
Like a timekeeper.
Oh, I know.
ignored.
That everyone ignored you.
So we have an hour, and I don't think we've ever stayed in our time. Or if we have, it was like a complete
It was an
fluke.
accident.
Yeah.
I think you could give us 2 hours, and we'd still mess up.
We would.
Like, it's
Well, okay,
just,
we still did when we were during COVID. We had the whole service, and we still went
Yeah,
over.
we still did. I guess
were
having
watching
too
out,
much
like,
content is better
Yeah.
than not having enough. But it's
It's like we need an alarm on the school on the thing. So as soon as they hit 0, you just a little beeping noise, just so it
I
annoys you.
think
You need a trapdoor on the stage.
Drop
I was just thinking of that would be pretty epic.
That'd be cool.
Or maybe just a bucket of water that
you just get dragged through the puppet
No,
stage.
that actually would be pretty funny. Like just
Bucket of nacho cheese.
You would just
Oh, no.
have someone there with a rope going.
Imagine that's their job for the week.
You're,
I volunteer every week.
You're dunker. Yeah.
The dunker
reverse
technician.
dunk tank. You have to sit under that. You have to stand under there the entire time you're doing your lesson.
The dunk tech. It's perfect.
The dunk tech. Ooh, clever.
Write that down.
So I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, and I've been listening to a lot of children's ministry podcasts and stuff. And I heard a couple recently that made me think that we could do better in some areas.
Yeah.
Of course,
All of
that
us.
would be
Yeah.
almost every area. But this particular area was really startling to me, because I realized we don't do hardly anything in this area. And that is connecting with our parents, the parents of our kids, both bus, in church, however they get there. We don't do a good enough job of tying them into the classroom.
Sure.
I don't have the answer on how to do this, but they, in the podcast, they, of course, gave a lot of different things. Not all of them would even fit us, but I just wanted to just spray a bunch of stuff out there and just talk about it. Just see what you guys think. But the biggest thing they were talking about is sometimes in Sunday school it can kind of feel like, and it's not that bad here, but I've felt this occasionally, where it's like us against the parents. Like the parents aren't doing their job, so we got to teach them. They don't know that. They don't even know about Balaam and the donkey, for heaven's sake. So we're going to teach your kid for you
Unacceptable.
because you don't even read your Bible in your house. But there can be a bit of it like that, where you just feel like we're going to do your job for you, parent, because you're not doing it well. But that is really a rotten attitude, and I'm talking to myself. But instead, if I had the attitude of we're helping the parents, we're assisting the parents, we're teaming with the parent, and some. They're what?
We're the village.
Yes, and
Correct.
and they're the. No.
Meaning, it takes a village to
sorry.
raise a child.
It takes a village to raise an idiot, is what I've I need. This is the unedited podcast, but I need to cut that out, because that was so rude.
Wow.
Why did I even say that?
What do you
But it was
what do you do
funny.
if you are a parent and or you're also a teacher? Do you just yell at the mirror?
That was messed up. Yes. Yes.
Every day.
I'm sorry. Yes, it takes a village, and we need to do our part and be on the parents' side, especially these poor kids that don't really have parents that are fully in church or are still trying to figure life out. So, what are some ways that we can better connect with the parents? And they had a bunch of ideas. First of all, it's just like, talk to them, which is pretty obvious. But how many times have we called the parents of our kids and tried to talk to them about, like, hey, we'd like to talk to you about your child. Nothing wrong, everything's good, but we want to figure out, is there anything we could do to better connect with
Can we
them.
just have like a Sunday school one call?
No, it needs to be a one-on-one call.
Yeah, one call, and then
We don't want to call them all.
The parent-teacher conference thing? Like,
Yes. Just like you come
That would
in
be
this
so
day. We
funny.
need to meet with all of you in one day. So
Yes, there will be cheese puffs.
I didn't mean like actually come in and say,
Well,
like,
I do have that in here. Another idea was like an open house kind of deal where
yeah, where they
parents
can like
drop
walk,
in.
they can like see the classrooms.
Yeah, just any way of getting the parents to connect with us better. They were talking about even just cold calling every parent of your kids and just saying, "Hey, we want to help you. We want to that we're on your side. What do we need to know about your child that would help us connect with him better?
Yeah.
Is there any? Sometimes there's learning disabilities we'll never know about unless we ask. Sometimes there's just stuff that's unique to that child.
Or things going on at home or
Exactly.
whatever.
We will never bring it up publicly, but
Right.
it would maybe help us reach them better.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've never done that before. There was even a guy that would get a form, he called it the All About Me form, and every new kid that came to the class, they had to fill that out. Now, the parents had to fill it out. And it just has this everything about me. What's my favorite color? What's my favorite pet? What are my hobbies? What do I like to do? Is there anything that I struggle with? Is there any, and they just fill that out and then they turn it into the teacher and the teachers just kind of get an idea. Oh, this is a picture of the kid that I can kind of adapt my teaching maybe to this child. Now in a big setting like ours where we have 80 plus kids, last week we had so many kids. I added an extra bench and we still ran out of seats.
That's true. We had to like get chairs.
How many did we have? We had to have close to 100 kids in there.
Yeah.
Well, we had like what, 4, 8, 12? No,
We had 16
12?
chairs, right? Or
Benches?
15
Benches?
benches. 15 benches.
Yeah, because there were five.
Was it 5 of 3?
Oh, was it 5, 5, 5? Well, no, because it's 3 rows, but
Yeah.
there's 1, 2.
Was it
3.
4
Those
deep or
3
5 deep?
sections.
I thought there was. Oh, was there 5 sections?
1, 2, 3.
I don't remember.
Well, there's 3 sections, but I thought there was 4
Five,
benches.
5 in a row, or 5 in a
Oh, was it 5? Oh, okay.
section.
Anyway, there was a mess of them.
More than
And
10.
so we, my point is it's hard to be personal in an environment like that, but
Right.
but we can, it would definitely help us. It would
Yeah.
definitely
Especially like situations like with Christian, I can't say, Christian.
quotes.
help us. We deal with a
The
lot of
Christian
Christians in
Yeah.
class because they're all Christians.
With the 2 boys that
Yes.
Yeah.
Logan and Brella would work with a lot.
Yep.
Oh, actually, all 3 of the boys.
Yeah, there's definitely special situations that we don't even realize until we see the repercussions in class.
Yeah.
Maybe they're acting out, and we have no idea why.
Yeah.
We
We've
don't
had
realize.
kids that have been like overstimulated by how loud and
Exciting
Yes,
the
like,
classrooms,
just
yeah.
up and out of our class is, and so like we have to figure out a different way to work
Yeah.
with them.
Right.
Yeah, and for us, we want it wild and crazy up to a point. We're trying to hype them up a little bit and have a lot of fun. We want the kids to want to come back.
Sure.
But that kid did not react well to that. Like that was the last thing he needed, but we didn't
Yeah.
know.
Right.
So yeah, the first thing is just talk to him. Maybe that form, something like that.
That's a good idea.
Huh?
Good idea.
That's good.
Yeah, and so we just need to figure out like how do we incorporate that into our existing structure. I don't know. I don't have the answer. I don't think this is really the place to figure it out, but
Yeah.
it's something that we can do. They also talked about sending flyers home consistently of every upcoming event, if it was children's ministry related.
Yeah.
If there's a men in training event, send it to all the boys. If there's a
Yeah.
family day, sending that out. Anything.
Yeah.
And just they actually did a study on if they're even effective, the flyers, and so they handed them out, and then they asked the parents that came to these events, "Why are you here?" And they said, "Well, your flyer. If you hadn't sent that, I wouldn't have even known about it." So this is definitely a different type of church. Ours is definitely more connected. I think theirs are kind of loose. Sometimes parents come once a week, once every 2 weeks, and ours are definitely more consistent.
Yeah.
But I think it would be helpful.
Help like with the bus, trying to pull the parents in and not just
Yeah.
us talking to the kids and kids talking to their parents.
Yeah, that's a great point. Is we are definitely communicating to our bus parents through the kids many times. Not that we don't talk to the parents, of course we
Yeah.
do, but not enough, I don't think.
Yeah, because on Saturdays when we go for outreach, a lot of times the kids answer. You talk to the kids, and then Sunday you just pick up the kids and you leave.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll go weeks without even seeing a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once we get that permission slip signed, we don't need to.
You don't really seek
legally.
them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another one, they had a website that they maintained, and I know this is, who even goes to websites anymore, especially a kid, right?
Yeah.
But it's just a source of all children's ministry information for ILC. And so we have a page that's always connected. Maybe, one link would be, here's our classes, here's the upcoming events, here's that All About Me forum, here's permission slips. It's just everything children's ministry related in one place, in a fun, neat place, and everything we do points there.
Sorry, didn't you say that you were going to start putting QR codes on?
They're on all our flyers
so
now.
if you just make it to where it's a general QR code, and there's kind of like how the church website is.
That's how it is now. That QR code can go anywhere. So once we create that, it can be pushed over there. But also weekly connections with the parents. Text them, do a mass text to all the parents.
Yeah.
And here's a link with this event. Check it out.
Ooh, that'd be good.
And some back and forth stuff, like how do we get back interaction from the parent? I don't know. I don't have an answer to that. Do we do those weekly challenges to the parents, but not a challenge, but do we put out a video to the parents every week on social media? Hey, just wanted to let you know this is what. I don't know. I don't have the answer. I'm just kind of going through stuff that they do. Some of it will work really well. Some of it was like a big no. But some of it was cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. There was some other stuff. Oh, on that All About Me form, I was thinking, how do we customize it for us? This is terrible, but I don't know. I mean, I have a pretty good idea of most of them, but I don't know which kids have the Holy Ghost and which ones don't sometimes, which is embarrassing. But I have to ask. I'm like, do they have Holy Ghost? Because so many have got it.
Yeah.
But some of them slip through the cracks. Somebody said, hey, let's pray for him that he gets the Holy Ghost. I'm like, no, he's had it for years. Like, this guy's he's 11 years old. Yeah. He didn't have it, and I thought he had.
Well, there's something you pointed out even for Summit that you said we should start doing on the registration.
The
little dot.
At junior camp.
If it's a little dot, like you said, junior camp, Summit, anything like that, where it's a big conference where you don't know the kids personally, there's a little dot.
And I need to do that for Kingdom Kids this year.
Yeah.
I still have time.
So the registration, you just put it as a checkbox, Holy Ghost or not, and then.
No, I want it where the kids don't even know what it is.
No, I'm saying the parents, when they're registering.
I want the parents like a green dot or a blue dot. Just a little dot.
I thought you even said just putting a dot and then
if
just
there's
so
a
there's
dot, good. If not,
and then there's if there's a dot, there's a dot, and then if there's not.
Putting it if they
because then you can add
do
the
have
dot
it
later.
or don't have it or something. Yeah. That's really good.
There's a dot.
I think Jason Ashley's the one that told us that we should do that.
So if there's a dot, they have it, and then maybe whenever they get it, somebody can get their name tag and put a dot on it.
The designate.
Just to keep up with who all has it.
That would be so helpful. Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe they could put one I've been sinning, a dot. No, not really. That's a joke.
There's a black dot.
That's a joke.
There's been sitting, and then there's a red dot.
I've been wicked.
The blood of Jesus now.
Yeah. All right. Obviously not. So this isn't the place to really figure all that out, but I think we can do a lot better in that area.
I agree.
Man, it'd be so cool to connect with them. Yes,
I know Vanessa Sanchez, who used to captain our yellow route. She would just call her moms up just randomly throughout the week, on her drive to or from work, and they would just chat, and she would just ask about what was going on.
She was fantastic.
Even now,
really good at being.
Even now, she's not on bus, and she still does it, and she still brings Joseph and Faith to youth events that they can go to, and stuff.
She's
cool.
so cool.
That's building a relationship.
Yeah.
Big time. But it's not just bus kids.
Well, I was just thinking right now when you were talking about that, you said nobody goes to websites anymore. We got to start thinking as well, modern, what do these parents now are 20s, 30s, even a little older, but most of them are younger. They're more into social media. We got to get them somehow to
that avenue.
Focus that way into that avenue instead of come here, like you were saying, post videos on if we had an Instagram or something or something like that we can be towards how businesses do it too. They're kind of going away from the more older traditional ways to the more newer ways that kids or parents or whatever get on to get information. I don't know.
And we already have a Sunday school.
Yeah,
Instagram, so just put the app on the.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. We're real consistent with that recap of every
That's
Sunday,
true.
weekly challenges. Liz has been doing a great job keeping it up to
fantastic,
date.
yeah.
But how many of our bus families even know about it?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
true.
Yeah.
So they probably don't.
And the thing is, with and I get some of the kids in our class may have phones, but a lot of them don't.
Yeah.
So if they hear about it,
Maybe we should put it on our main flyer somewhere on there.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
every flyer we send home, put it on there.
Yeah.
Every text we send out to them should be on there.
And also, as a parent, I feel like you would want to see, if you don't have to send your kids already, you'd want to see, but what
they're
does this,
about.
what does
what do
this
you
look
expect?
like?
That's a good,
So
that's
you
a
can,
good point.
oh, they have Instagram. Let me go see what they have on there.
because I know that you
Get a feel for what it is exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of
I know you
people
tell
do
the
that.
parents.
Let's go see what they got on Instagram or
I think
check
it'd
out
be
their
good
Instagram
for
or-
when bus teams go on outreach and stuff. They can be like, hey, we can check us out on Instagram. That'd be a good time to mention that too. So
Because I know you mentioned a lot to the parents, hey, I wouldn't want to send my kids to this place somewhere I didn't know, so you're welcome to come with them. But a lot of parents don't really want to come. So if there's just a way they could,
That's a really good point. Did you have something?
Not really. I was just thinking about. Have you ever seen those really dumb looking cars that have the @ on the window?
Yeah.
You could put them on the buses and on the vans.
And that sounds kind of
we seriously
weird, but I mean that's what it's
yeah.
going.
I don't
towards,
think it's weird
you
though.
know?
I don't.
It's a little less weird for a church or business thing, but people themselves, it's
Yeah, when you're
Yeah.
saying
It
follow
is.
me because I need followers because I'm a little fame hound, that's pitiful.
he's gonna find this. I'm just gonna end up putting a sticker with the @ on it on the back of his truck.
Yeah.
oh my word.
You're just driving around.
Anyway, so something to think about.
Yeah.
I'd love to do better there. So like we said before, we're not experts on this thing. As you can tell, we're still trying to figure life out all the time, trying to make every Sunday better than the last. And sometimes we succeed, sometimes we don't. And I think we're just about done. Last thing, Pastor mentioned this yesterday, is we were talking about Kingdom Kids, and some of the new storylines that are in this year are really fun. There's
Yeah.
really silly, goofy
I was looking
ones.
at the.
I'm so sad.
There's this one, and
is this spoilers?
yes, for kids
Spoiler
listening
alert.
to this.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Not bad. But the story of Saul when he went to destroy King Agag and all them, and he brought back, Brother Lackey just talked about it, where he brings back the king and the animals after God said destroy them all. Well, we have a similar story in the kingdom. So the good king sends his knights out to attack an encampment of the enemy. Do not bring anything back. Destroy them completely. Well, they bring back, he sees a little stick dragon laying on the ground, and he goes, oh, a dragon, a pet dragon. I've always wanted a pet. So he brings it back. Well, it grows up, and he's in the dungeon, and now the dragon is taking over the castle from the inside, and you just hear these roars, and the king's like, what is that? And the knight's like, King, about that. And so he has to explain that he took a pet helmet, and so the king says, well, you created the problem, go fix it. And so he sends all the knights down. Brother Danny created the funniest sound effect of the dragon being...
Me and Bree.
Oh, she was part of it too?
It was with me.
Only supervising from the back.
Well, it was epic. So you hear this dragon noises and screams and stuff, and all of a sudden you hear chickens squawking, goats bleating. I don't know what all I'm hearing. And at the very end, my favorite part is that when the dragon finally expires, you just hear this squawk. It's just like the most sad chicken squawk ever.
Like his pink
Poor little
chicken.
buddy.
Yeah, like the pink chicken just got stepped on. It's so funny. But my point in saying that is I was telling my brother some of these storylines, and he said, you guys have got to take every year and just make them in a kid's book form. How cool would that be? Just write them up and make it a little volume.
Yes.
Like that, but in story form where a kid could enjoy it.
This
I think
is
that would
like
be
year
really fun.
7. You could have a whole series of
I don't know that they flow into each other. They probably wouldn't make sense or stand alone, overlap. There'd be some weird stuff we'd have to work
So
through.
you edit it, yeah.
Yep. But I think it's cool. I really do.
That sounds amazing.
Brother Gabe Baker fixed all this script.
Oh my word, that'd be so cool.
So
We had
that's
to fix a couple of lines.
added to the list of things that we're going to do one day.
Yes.
But I think that's it. 53 minutes in. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. And Delaney, thank you for coming. Sarah, thank you for coming back. Even if I did monopolize the conversation because I talk too much, whatever.
I think we're at like 7 interruptions.
Oh, it was more than
Oh,
that.
I thought I meant people.
Well, yeah,
I was
when
like,
we
yeah,
saw
no,
Couch
there's
Hey, what was
6
funny is I was in Chehalis, Washington, and Gabe Baker said, hey, we want to record a podcast, but there was a guy there that wanted to be in the podcast. And he said, but last time we did it, he was talking to Gabe, he said, you monopolized the whole podcast, and nobody else could get a word in edgewise. And Gabe's like, I kept waiting, and you guys wouldn't say anything, so I had to fill dead air. So
He's the dead.
you guys don't have much dead air to fill. But that's my excuse if it does happen, okay?
You used to just get over.
Anyway, 54 minutes and 9 seconds in now.
Anticipated the dead air.
Every breath you take to talk again.
He anticipated the dead air coming. And he was
Oh, I'm sorry you took a breath. That must be my moment to insert my wisdom.
That's my cue.
Yeah. Now I'm going to be so self-conscious. I'm not going to say anything next time. We're just going to have a lot of awkward space. Ha!
You won't.
They're called breath.
You won't be able to control yourself. Anyway, everybody, thank you for joining us. If you have any ideas for us to talk on the podcast, email us at info@apostolicsundaySchool.com. We'll see you all. God bless. Bye.